What?
Seeing this data and news reports few days back made me worried and stressed. Well, but that will not happen. The fact is that the stress and worry is on increase in the present day lifestyle which we are having. The lifestyle where production is important, where the competition is more, that's the reality. The point is, how can we counter it? Do we have some tool to counter it? And when thinking about this, a question comes in mind that why the happiness is not natural to us? Is it not that we should be happy? Thinking simply, one thinks that happiness should be natural to us. Well, going through this scientific study, the fact is, and if we investigate what is natural to us, so there are two things which are natural to us: the survival instinct and the reproductive skills. These two skills are not to be taught, they are natural to us. A child is born, a newborn child cries when it is hungry. That is natural. And a important offshoot of survival instinct is that we automatically become stressed and worried. And if we are not stressed and worried, then probably we will not survive. So the important element of survival skill is stress and worry. And that is why when the competition is increasing, when the production kind of mentality is increasing and we have to compete with each other, the constant stress and worry is on increase. In fact, we create comfort zone, but then in the process of creating that comfort zone, happiness, we create more uncomfortable zones for us. But then probably all these things are necessary for us to grow. Still, some people will say that some are able to handle it and some not. What are those traits do they have? Some people's genetic material or DNA is such that they are less worried. The environment, for example, the environment in Afghanistan is such that the quantum of stress there is more. So the environment matters. The relationships and the value system which we develop right from our childhood, the personality which we develop right from our childhood, the modeling which we have seen all over the our childhood, which shapes our personality, the goals which we create for us, the expectations which we create for us. These are some of the traits which inherently, if people have because of their brought up or their genes, help them to counter the stress easily as compared to some other people. So, to understand the tools of happiness, it is important to understand that what causes increased stress and worry. The temperament which we have, again, this can be built up. The unrealistic goals which we may have. The negative focus. Some people have negative focus. They'll focus on something which is bad has happened. Some people will not care much for that. So the negative growth attitude, having growth attitude, we learn from our negative things which will happen with us. And next time when it happens, the setbacks don't affect us that much. The self-compassion, attitude of self-compassion. It's okay not to be okay. That is very important to have. And some people are outside people. They are driven from what is happening outside them. They guide it. Somebody did that thing, somebody has that thing, why I do not have it. Some people are not governed by that. And I call such people inside people. So you've got to be inside people. And if you're inside person, you are governed from inside you, then the problem decreases. The problem of stress and worry decreases. So we can say that the takeaway from this discussion is that a trait of happiness has to be cultivated. Some effort will have to be made on our part if we want to be happy. It will not naturally come to us. We must have a portfolio. I'd call it a psychological portfolio of happiness. Like you have a financial portfolio for your financial strength to be secured and enough. We must have a psychological portfolio. Some other day we will talk about the psychological portfolio, but in nutshell, what are few things which we may sort of focus on, which can help us develop, cultivate this happiness trait? They can be that we might be decide to be realistic in our approach, and some things are not okay, so we must remember that it's okay not to be okay. We must have emotional learning. Each emotion which pass through our mind must teach us something. How the same emotion has not affected somebody else, why it has affected me, and what is the future if I go by this way. The, as I said, inside governance of yourself. Another very important thing which people miss is looking for meaning and purpose in life. If we look for that instead of short term goals, our life should have a meaning, and if it has a meaning and purpose, so many things not nearby us will not affect us. And for this to happen, we must care for ourselves. Self love and self care. I've talked in one of my videos about self care and self love, and some people still I listen, they say that it is selfish. But in fact, I would argue it like this. You need to care for yourself, and you need to love yourself so that you become a best version of yourself. You are not worried and stressed so as to stress others nearby you, because your near and dear ones get stressed if you are in stress. So that they, instead of feeling that I have to help this person, you become a help, a support to everybody, to your near dear ones and to everybody. And that is why you must care for yourself. You must have compassion for yourself. You must love yourself to become the best version of yourself. And for that, you must have that tool, I would say, the portfolio, psychological portfolio of happiness. We'll talk in detail about this psychological portfolio of happiness in some other video, some other day. Till then, bye bye. See you again in next video.